In 1945, Japan was devastated by two atomic bombs. Little boy and fat man millions were affected, and hundreds of thousands lost their lives. Yet one man witnessed both explosions firsthand and lived to tell the tale. How did he survive the deadliest attacks in human history? This is Cypher, and this is the unbelievable story of Tsutomu Yamaguchi. In August 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi, an engineer from Nagasaki, was in Hiroshima for a business trip. On the morning of August 6th, after finishing his work, he was preparing to return home. As he was walking, he looked up at the sky and noticed a large aircraft overhead. What he didn't know was that the United States was about to drop the world's first atomic bomb used in warfare, little boy, on Hiroshima. Suddenly, boom! A blinding flash lit up the entire sky. The explosion was unlike anything humanity had ever seen before. Fortunately, Yamaguchi was about 3 kilometers away from the center of the blast. That distance saved his life. But he was still caught in the shockwave. The force of the explosion threw him through the air. His eardrums were badly damaged, and he suffered severe burns and injuries across his body. Somehow, against all odds, he survived. When he finally got back on his feet and looked around, the city of Hiroshima had become a living nightmare. Buildings had vanished. Fires burned everywhere. The streets were filled with destruction, smoke, and chaos. It looked as if the entire city had turned into a graveyard. Rescuers eventually helped him reach safety. Most people would think surviving an atomic bomb would be the end of the story. But for Tsutomu Yamaguchi, the real story was only just beginning. That night, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was forced to stay in a shelter along with thousands of other survivors. Despite his painful injuries, there was only one thing on his mind: getting back to Nagasaki and seeing his family. The problem was that Hiroshima's transportation system had been devastated. Train lines were damaged, stations were in chaos, and traveling was extremely difficult. After an exhausting and painful journey, Yamaguchi finally managed to reach Nagasaki. Seeing his family alive brought him a moment of relief after everything he had witnessed. But fate had one more cruel surprise waiting for him. On the morning of August 9th, even though his body was covered in burns and injuries, Yamaguchi reported to work. During a meeting, he tried to explain the horror he had seen in Hiroshima. A single object fell from the sky, he told his co-workers. Then there was a flash, and an entire city was destroyed. Many found it difficult to believe. How could one bomb wipe out a whole city? Then, at exactly 11:02 a.m., it happened again. A blinding flash suddenly filled the sky over Nagasaki. The United States had dropped its second atomic bomb, Fat Man. At that very moment, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was working inside an office building. Amazingly, the building shielded him from the worst effects of the blast and ultimately saved his life. The Nagasaki bomb was even more powerful than the one dropped on Hiroshima, according to many historical accounts. The explosion unleashed another wave of unimaginable destruction, killing tens of thousands of people. Yet somehow, against all odds, Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived once again. In just 3 days, he had witnessed both atomic bombings, the only person officially recognized by Japan as having survived them both. Even though Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived both atomic bombings, he could never completely escape their effects. The intense radiation exposure left him with numerous health problems throughout his life. Yet despite all the pain and suffering he endured, he continued working to support his family. No matter how difficult things became, he carried on and fulfilled his responsibilities until the very end. For that determination alone, he deserves our deepest respect. Hats off to him. As he grew older, Yamaguchi chose to share his experiences with the world. He became an advocate for peace, speaking out against nuclear weapons and hoping that no one would ever have to witness the horrors he had seen. In 2009, the Japanese government officially recognized him as a survivor of both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombings. While many people survived one of the bombings, Tsutomu Yamaguchi became the first officially recognized person to have survived both. On January 4, 2010, Tsutomu Yamaguchi passed away at the age of 93. His story is more than just a tale of survival. It is a story of resilience, courage, and the incredible strength of the human spirit. To survive one atomic bomb is almost unimaginable. To survive two is extraordinary. Tsutomu Yamaguchi's life reminds us that even in humanity's darkest moments, the will to live can be stronger than anything else. This is what the human spirit truly looks like.